day everybody, and welcome back to the OniOfTaint channel. Today we are having a look at Age of Wonders 3 Eternal Lords. This is a RTS 4X strategy game that I've been playing the hell out of. I've owned it for months and I've literally only won one game of this. It is incredibly challenging, and that was with the AI helping me on the lowest difficulty. I usually try and have it on medium difficulty, and the AI will just steamroll all over you. So anyway, I'm going to show you one of the main modes I play, which is random map. So here we go. Random map. We're going to have the difficulty on... we'll put it on night for now. We're going to have it on medium. I think that would be medium. Squire would be... okay, so that's recommended for beginning players. That one's okay. And you got Lord, King, Emperor. Emperor, I'm guessing Knight is like easy, with Squire being very easy. So we'll go with Lord. We'll give ourselves a challenge. We want an extra large map because I want this to go on quite a long time. How do we want to do this? We'll go continents, and the game flow shall be, we'll go, players start with a settler and a small army, need to build their empires from scratch. No cities are present on the map at the start of the game. Yeah, that sounds good to me, and we'll go with 8 players in AI, so we'll just go with advanced for the moment. Underground, we do want underground as well. Starting town, settler, we want weak units. Starting distance, far, we don't want to be near any real. We want no roads, roaming units can stay on average, treasure can stay on average, cities can stay on none, dwellings can stay on few. Yeah, that sounds about right. We'll leave all that on default for now, and we'll go next. So this is one of the things that I really love in the game, because I used to play on simultaneous mode, and simultaneous mode, it had this sort of thing where if an enemy was moving or another player was moving before you were, your camera would immediately jump to them. There's a setting that you can use to get rid of it in Civ 5, which I'm going to be using to compare this to. I know I shouldn't, but it's a good game to compare it to. So I'm just going to turn this to classic turns just for ease of mind. Allied victory basically means you can form an alliance with someone and you can work together. Teams is essentially the same, except teams is when you'll be working together from the beginning. Allied basically means you'll build up the alliance. I'll only customize my leader. Now, I'll show you what that means in a minute. So all those are going to be lords. Advanced rules, game speed, normal, starting skills, normal, defender strength, cosmic happenings, random heroes. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, sounds about right. So we'll go that and we'll launch game. This will bring us to the leader select screen. Now the graphics aren't really that good in this game close up, but I'll show you what I mean. But for the purposes of this, I'm going to show you one of my favorite features. It's the custom leaders. You can literally put yourself or create a virtual avatar in this game, so we'll just put with the default ones on now. So you've got human, high elf, Tigran, Frostling, Draconian, Dwarf, Goblin, Orc. And you've got Warlord, Ferocrat, Archdruid, Dreadnought, Necromancer, Sorcerer, Rogue, and then back to Warlord. You can also have male and female heroes. So we're going to be a Draconian Warlord. And here you can change the specializations. The specializations kind of work for the Draconians. They are the descendants of dragons, and they are masters of fire. But I'm going to give this one I'll give this one the Keeper of the Peace, which basically means we have diplomatic bonuses. And now we come to the real meat of the customization. So now this doesn't look that bad. Like, it could be improved, but all in all, it doesn't look that bad. So head shape, we'll go for... I quite like that one. He's like a young dragonling, draconian. Skin texture. What kind of... I quite like that one. I quite like how that one looks. Color, what color shall he be? I can pretty much spend quite a long time doing this. But just for the purposes of this video, I think I quite like him being purple. I think he looks quite nice. Yeah, we'll stick him with purple. Skin decoration. We can give him scars. We can give him face paint. He can be burned. Let's give him... Can't really see that one. We'll give him this one, because he is a warlord, and all warlords have scars. Hairstyle for the Draconians is pretty much their horns. So, I kind of like how that one looks with the tri-horns. That kind of looks pretty good to me. Hair color is, as you would expect, the color of his horns. We'll just leave that as default. Facial hair. I kind of like that one. That one works pretty okay. Eyes. What color shall his eyes be? Shall we give him like really human eyes? For what it is, the customization with the leaders is really in-depth, and I really love creating my own leaders. I quite like those eyes for him. Gives him sort of an aged look, I guess. Accessories is things like circlets and such. He doesn't really need them, and they don't really work. They just sort of... Those are necromancer specific. So you do sort of get like class specific options and such. Scenes, this will basically be the background, and as you can see it changes in the portrait as well. So he's a Draconian, he's a warlord, he's a master of fire, so that's a good one, that's a good one. Shall we just zoom out and see how that looks? I quite like how that looks. Posture is essentially how they stand. He's a warlord, but I want to give him a quite dignified look about him. I don't really want him... I like that one. I like how he looks on that one. He's got a very deep and penetrating gaze. And clothes is essentially his armor. I kind of like that one. I kind of like how he's all armored up. We can give him sort of like the casual sort of look. But I think this one's probably the better version. I wish you could change the decor, so instead of a lion face, it's more of a dragon type look. Banner color will be red, because of course he's a Draconian. And if you've noticed, the color of his cape has also changed, and this dictates the color of your domain, the color of your units, and so on and so forth. We'll give him a... shall we go black for that? Shall we go with like... No, he's a Keeper of the Peace, so we'll give him white. We'll give him more of a dignified, respectful look. Banner icon. I'm pretty sure I've spent like 5 to 10 minutes just doing the character creation and explaining this, but it is so good! I love it in this game! That emblem I quite like. Portrait, how shall he stand? We'll just go with the original for now. And his name... what shall his name be? We need a good draconian name, a good dragon name. No, I'm not calling him Smaug. Anyone thinking The Hobbit? Oh god. I know. Volkharn the Shocking. No. Volkharn the Magmaborn. Volkharn the Magmaborn. Now that's a nice name. We shall save our leader, and that essentially does what you'd expect it to. It saves your leader, so you can use them again either as yourself or as an AI, if you go up against or not. You can really lose yourself in creating like your own storylines with the characters. And we'll go done. And this is now generating the world. And just so you don't have to sit through the loading times, I shall cut the recording here and restart when the game actually starts. So, see you then! And welcome back. Here we are, Volkharn the Magmaborn, Draconian Warlord, your rise to power begins. I love the music in this, it's so good! So here, as you can see, the graphics for the models aren't exactly the most high def, but they're serviceable and they do a pretty good job. Zoom out and you get this beautiful map layout that does become pretty well implemented into the game, especially when you've got alliances and such. So the first thing we want to do is really settle the city, but really we're going to select a skill to research. And these skills are different depending on which class, and also I'm not too sure if race factors into them, but I know class definitely does. So the first one we really want to do is forces neighboring lands to submit to the Empire's rule for a demonstration of my power. Target friendly city gains 1 domain radius. That could be useful if we're planning to expand, but the first thing I'm going to do is build a berserker. And you also get random heroes that join you. So apart from your leader, you also get random heroes. And these heroes aren't the leaders. You can't get leaders in this, which I really wish you could. But if a leader surrenders to you in the game, they will join you if you let them live. And then you sort of have another leader on your side. But these are just random heroes, swords for hire, I guess. So we've got Tara the Infiltrator, a level 1 rogue. I believe she's a dwarf, and she will join us for 100 gold. You always start off with a random hero wanting to join you, so you can usually start off with 2. But as you can see, we are losing 11 gold per turn, so we may lose a bit, but just for the advantage, we're going to let her join. So this is the army. We've got a draconian hatchling. Watch this. Welcome to a unit screen. Look at these little guys. Draconian eggs are quite delicious on toast, but beware, many a young cook has discovered their cooking eggs hatching, and what came out was not a sweet little baby animal, as is the case in most of the tasty animal world. I once lost an entire breakfast crew, slaughtered by the unexpected hatching of a clutch of eggs. Their fiery spit and nasty bite had overwhelmed my cooks. By the time I discovered them, most of the hatchlings had fled so well. I had to call the city guard to remove fully transformed draconian flamers, crushers and chargers, which good cooks know are far too gamey to be a good eating. Cooking all of nature by Emibek Ogre Gourmet. It gives like a little bit of lore for every single unit, and that can be expanded upon in the Tome of Wonders, which is basically like the Civlopedia in Civ. I'll be exploring that as this goes on. This is sort of like a first look at the game, but I do plan on doing a series of this. So the first thing we really want to do is settle a city. So we select the settler here, we go to this icon, and then we go found a city. Now we really want to found it here so we can get this, this, and this. So we'll go here. Usk. How do you pronounce that? Oh god. Let's randomize it a bit. Asperson. Slaffy Hicks. Zordatu! I like Zordatu. Okay. Usually I play quite passively and defensively, so we're going to put our Warlord here, and you press this to basically put them on alert, and they will camp there in the city. I like to do that with heroes in cities because a key tip here is if you don't have an army or at least one unit standing on a city tile to defend it, any unit can walk in there and claim your city. Independents, enemy units. I lost the game because a freaking spider walked into my city and claimed it from me. The Throne City. You have all these other cities, but the Throne City is your main city. Lose that, game over. Especially when your hero is in the void. And what I mean, you'll see what I mean by that if Volkharn ever dies. So defeat all rival empires. To win this scenario, all rival leaders must be slain and their throne cities captured. Allied victory. You can win this scenario while maintaining your alliances. Defeat all empires outside your alliance to win. As far as I know, there aren't really any other victory types apart from maybe Unifier, but I'm pretty sure even then you have to defeat all other leaders. So it's pretty much a domination victory. As you would expect in these times, I guess. Protect your leader and throne city. Here's basically what I was explaining earlier. If your leader falls, so if Volkharn ever dies, they will return after 3 turns at your throne city. Your leader can never really die, they'll just be sent to the void, and they'll return after 3 turns to your throne city. But all other leaders that you've either captured, recruited or such can die permanently, but there is a skill to resurrect them, which I believe is a tier 4 skill. Yeah, I think it's tier 4. If you lose both your leader and your throne city, you will lose the scenario. So if you lose your leader and then your throne city, you lose. If you lose your throne city but still have your leader, you can change your throne city or try to recapture it. So right now this is going on. We're going to give this guy to... I'll tell you what might be better just for this. We're going to start clearing out some of these areas. Nope, we want to select them. And this is one of the more better aspects of the game. This is the combat. So you've got auto combat, which will auto resolve it, or you've got manual combat, which will do this. Welcome to tactical combat. I love the battle music. Independents are moving. They just went into a defense. So you can turn the cameras with the E and Q as I've got them bound. And you can zoom in with the mouse and get right up and close. So these guys are Phantasm Warriors. They deal shock damage as far as I know. So what have we got? We've got 2 Crushers, 1 Raptor, 1 Hatchling, and of course we've got Volkharn. What spells do we have? Lion's Courage installs a warrior with unparalleled bravery and an overpowering aura. Bestows friendly target unit with +5 strength, overwhelm, and strong will. That might be good for the Raptors. So that spell has took up Volkharn's movements, but we can still move the other units. So we'll move them up. It's very similar to I guess you could say Civ combat in a way, but on a more condensed field. I'm trying to think of a game I could compare this to apart from Civ. I'm honestly not too sure, but as you can see, if we click on Volkharn, he can't do anything because we did cast a spell, but even then he'll still gain experience from casting that spell, and he can always move next turn. So now it's the Independence turn. They're coming forward. As you can see, they did 7 shock damage, but only 1 physical damage. So we're going to have this Crusher flank, and flanking and overwhelm will give bonuses to the damage, but as you can see, they have 60% physical damage. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have these guys attack, which will give a flanking bonus, but it will also cause them to turn around to face the Crushers, which will expose their flanks to the Raptors. Zoom in real close, and if you press F, it'll go into like a dynamic view. Turn around just to get a good look at this. So as you can see, they've now turned around to face the Crushers. So select the Raptors, and boom! Massive damage. But these Phantasm Warriors aren't really that tough, but you do get some really powerful units that you do have to sort of use flanking and use their weaknesses on. So this is one of the ranged units, it's also one of the beginner units. This is the Draconian Hatchling, so we're going to use Flame Spit. It only does 5 to 7 fire damage, and there is a range penalty of 50%. So it might do about 4 damage, I believe, is the most likeliest. It did 5 damage, which is respectable. And then we can move up Volkharn to up there. As you can see, he's also got a crossbow, which you can use, but he can't really hit it, I think. No, he can! But, oh my god, just look at those penalties. Line of sight penalty minus 75%, shield protection, and range penalty. So we're gonna be going melee really with Volkharn. I apologize if I sound a little flued up and such. I do have a cold or such. So going to end the combat round. Okay, this is what's happening here. Recharging mana currents, and the Phantasm Warrior is a summoned unit. It's a magical summoned unit, so it will gain 15 health every turn. So we really need to take this guy down. So we're going to use Fire Spit on this again. It'll do 10 to 16 damage this time for him being closer. We'll move Volkharn over here, and he should get a good shot in here. It's still the shield, which some units are shielded, which does reduce range damage. I don't think it reduces melee damage, but it'll still do 5 to 8, so 6 damage, that's good enough. Going to move the Crushers over here, and we're going to go in heavy with the Raptors. And the Raptors, as you can see, just owning. And the Raptors earned a promotion! That metal icon means they've earned a promotion. So as you can see here, our Raptor is now a rank of a Trooper. Oh, hold on. Let me just go back to that. As a Trooper, they gain +1 melee strength and 4 hit points. And as you can see, here's all the benefits they'll get each time they rank up. But our Crusher did take quite a lot of damage, and our Raptor did take some as well. So we'll close out. We've explored the mana node, and we've gained 31 mana crystals, and as you can see, we're gaining 5 gold now. So we're just going to move Volkharn over here. We're going to move her back into the city. We're just going to have her on camping, and then we'll end the turn here. Are you sure you want to end this turn? Yes, don't ask me again. So I put it on classic turns because simultaneous turns does tend to lag it a bit, and it's only running at really 26, 27 FPS at maximum right now, which I guess is fair enough to say. It's still working pretty well. But when the turn is done, you should be able to see the new city. Here we are, and if I zoom out, there it is, Zarnatu. So this is the city of Zarnatu. And you can build all these, and you can also you can release it as a vassal, which I believe you can form peace treaties with independence, and then you can bring them in as a vassal, and then after that you can absorb them into your empire. And you can also look at the sort of specific existing upgrades. Now, this eye icon means she is invisible to other players due to urban concealment, which basically means inside the city she is invisible. And that works for some units as well, but there's different types of concealment. So the first thing we're going to do is, because we're earning only 10 gold, we're really going to need to get this gold mine from these dwarves. So we're going to go for the barracks, shrine, storehouse. We've booked up the barracks, the shrine, the storehouse, the wooden wall, and the builder's hall. That's going to put quite a lot of drain on our gold, but hopefully we'll be able to get some back. And as you can see, these soldiers have been healing. So come 2 turns from now, or possibly next turn, because I believe the Draconians have the biggest healing factor of all the races, we'll be able to take out those dwarves. So we'll just skip the turn. There we go. Yeah, one more turn should be good enough for these. So we'll just put it on that. One more turn until the Berserkers are ready to be built. But we need to build the Warlord's Hall, I believe it's called, which will allow us to build class-specific units such as the Berserker. Sorry about that. The Berserker. So skill research. What's Trajan Regiment? The production cost of archer, cavalry, infantry, irregular, and pioneers, that's a good one to begin with. So we'll get that one. These guys are all fully healed, so let's go take out these dwarves. Very likely victory, manual combat. I love doing manual combat. I only really do auto combat if it's like late game, because early game I just love doing the manual combat. And you can skip the intro animation swirl with space. So who have we got? We got two dwarven, no, these guys are dwarven crossbowmen, dwarf prospectors, and dwarf axemen. Okay, so let's get the crushers going up here. Melee strike is 14. Melee strike is 7. Physical damage plus 6. Flame damage, so you're looking at about 13. So I'll tell you what, we'll put the Lion's Courage on him this time. I don't intend to get him killed. We'll bring these guys up here. She's a rogue, so she's got shoot darts, and she's got a fairly okay physical strike. She's got a 13th physical strike, which is the same strength as the Raptor, I believe. So we're gonna try and flank with her, because the rogues do gain an assassin strike and such, which is good for flanking. And we'll bring up the crushers there, and we'll bring up the spitters. Well, the hatchlings, sorry. Then we'll end the turn there. So all the units that still had an action left will go on the defensive. Okay, 11 damage from heavy crossbow. Now the dwarven prospectors aren't really a combat unit, they're more for exploration in the underground cities. So how are we gonna do this? The prospectors aren't really gonna be an issue, but those guys might be. So let's see, it's only really gonna do 2 damage. Might be a good idea to bring these guys over here and see if we can't get a better shot. That's probably the best shot we can get. But we're gonna bring these guys over here, and I'll show you why I've done that. Because now we can do this. 9 damage because of the flanking bonus. And as you can see, 12 to 18 because of another flanking bonus. 13, that's not bad. And as you can see, these guys are pretty much almost dead. So we can get, sorry, I turned it the wrong way. So we can now get these guys to come around. Oh, no, these guys are going to be an issue. So we can probably distract these guys. These guys have got Overwhelm, which will do some extra damage and such. Ooh, the Axemen hit back quite hard. So we're going to bring Tower over here. Then we can bring the Raptors up to destroy this. This will just get the obscurity out of the way. And we can get Volkharn come up over here. He's more of a melee hero, I guess. 2 to 3, 4 to 5, 2 to 3. I'll wait with him, so I'll put him on defense, I'll put her on defense. I want to get up close and personal because he's got more melee damage now. Flanking an Overwhelm. Okay, as you can see, the AI will also use flanking maneuvers whenever it can. And as you can see, these crushers are basically dead. But that's to be expected when they were overwhelmed. Okay, so we can't really get them. If we can bring these guys up, there we go. 10 to 14 damage. 13 fire damage. That is brilliant. These guys are the real issue. So we're going to bring these guys over here. Bring these guys over here. And watch the carnage. 23 damage. Very good damage on flanking. And then we're going to bring Terra over here. There's any really of the prospectors that are left. No, it's the crossbowmen, sorry. 7 to 11. 9 for the single shot. We're going to bring these guys over here. And there's nothing we can do else, so this will be the final turn. The crossbowmen are essentially screwed. 15 damage. These guys pack a punch. I really should have took them out sooner. You know what? Crossbow for crossbow. Actually, we better move up a bit. See, if you want to go ranged, you really want to go for the elves because they've got bonuses where they'll get increased range. And the optimal range is when it's the green dots that you can see now. And they'll also get a buff which will ignore ranged penalties. So they'll be doing full damage no matter what. 15 to 23 flanking. 16 damage. That dwarf didn't stand a chance. Love the victory music. You attacked Independence and won. So we've gained 52 gold and the gold mine is now ours. So I just want to show you one little spell before I end this episode. And this is Transform to Fire Node. Okay, this is going to take 3 turns to do. So you know what? I'm going to end this episode, I'm going to edit it up, and then I'm going to return after I've uploaded this episode. And then I'll continue on, because I want to get some good recording done today. I haven't recorded in a long time. So anyway, this has been part 1 of Age of Wonders 3, Eternal Lords, Rise of the Draconian Warlord, Volkharn the Magmaborn. Take care, and as always, sayonara.